Welcome, dear wanderers of the macabre, to a journey that will take us through the shadowy corridors of history, into the heart of darkness that beats within each U.S. state. This is not just a tale of ghostly apparitions or eerie whispers in the night. It is a tapestry woven with the threads of human experience, love and loss, ambition and despair, life and death, all converging to create places where the veil between worlds grows thin. Each state in this vast nation carries its own spectral legacy, stories that have been whispered around campfires, documented in dusty archives, and passed down through generations. These are the most haunted places in America, and tonight, we begin our odyssey by peeling back the layers of mystery that shroud them. From abandoned asylums to historic battlefields, from grand hotels to forgotten prisons, these locations are more than mere bricks and mortar. They are vessels of memory, holding the energy of those who once walked their halls, lived their lives, and met their ends, often tragically. Whether you're a skeptic seeking rational explanations or a believer yearning for proof of the supernatural, there is something undeniably compelling about these sites. They challenge our perceptions of reality, forcing us to confront the unsettling possibility that we are not alone. In this first episode, we will explore the haunted landmarks of several states, delving deep into their histories and uncovering the chilling events that earn them their reputations. We'll hear first-hand accounts from witnesses, examine evidence gathered by paranormal investigators, and immerse ourselves in the atmospheric dread that permeates these places. Prepare to feel the hairs rise on the back of your neck as we step into the unknown, guided only by the flickering light of curiosity and courage. So, gather close, dear reader, and let us embark on this spine-tingling adventure together. The road ahead is fraught with shadows, but within those shadows lie stories that refuse to be forgotten. Let us honor them by shining a light, not to dispel the darkness, but to illuminate the haunting beauty of the unseen world that exists alongside our own. Are you ready? Then let us begin. Alabama, Sloss Furnaces, the forge of torment in the heart of Birmingham, Alabama, stands a monument to industrial might and human endurance, the Sloss Furnaces. Once a bustling hub of iron production during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, this sprawling complex now serves as a chilling reminder of the cost of progress. Beneath its rusted girders and soot-stained walls lies a history steeped in tragedy, where countless workers endured grueling conditions, and some paid the ultimate price. The story of Sloss Furnaces begins in 1882 when James Withers Sloss founded the facility to capitalize on Alabama's rich mineral resources. For nearly a century, the furnaces roared day and night, producing pig iron that fueled the growth of America's steel industry. However, this prosperity came at a terrible cost. Workers labored under extreme heat, toxic fumes, and perilous machinery, often without proper safety measures. Accidents were frequent, maiming and killing many. An estimated 47 workers lost their lives during the plant's operational years. Among them was James Slag Wormwood, a foreman whose name has become synonymous with the horrors of Sloss. Wormwood was known for his ruthless dedication to productivity, pushing workers to endure unsafe conditions without rest. Legend has it that he fell, or was pushed, into the molten iron one fateful night in 1906, his body consumed completely by the fiery depths. Since then, his vengeful spirit is said to haunt the site, tormenting visitors and staff alike. Paranormal investigators and tourists report hearing disembodied screams echoing through the cavernous chambers, while others claim to see shadowy figures darting among the ruins. Some have even felt an oppressive heat radiating from nowhere, accompanied by the acrid stench of burning metal, a grim echo of the furnace's infernal past. Perhaps the most infamous account comes from a group of urban explorers who ventured into the abandoned facility in the 1970s. As they wandered deeper into the labyrinthine structure, they began experiencing inexplicable phenomena. Tools moved on their own, lights flickered despite no power source being present, and cold spots materialized in areas heated by the lingering warmth of decades-old operations. One member of the group swore he saw a man in tattered work clothes standing near the blast furnace, glaring at him with hollow eyes before vanishing into thin air. To this day, the footage captured during their expedition remains a staple of paranormal documentaries, Sloss Furnace's reputation as one of the most haunted places in Alabama extends beyond isolated incidents. Regular ghost tours attract thrill-seekers eager to test their courage against the supernatural forces said to inhabit the grounds. Participants recount feeling hands grabbing at their clothing, hearing phantom footsteps trailing behind them, and witnessing orbs of light floating eerily through the darkness. Even skeptics admit to sensing an oppressive atmosphere that defies explanation, a palpable weight that seems to press down on anyone foolish enough to linger too long. Yet, what makes Sloss Furnaces truly terrifying is not just its catalog of ghostly encounters but the visceral connection it fosters with the suffering of those who came before. It is impossible to walk its weathered pathways without imagining the sweat, blood, and tears shed by the men who built an empire on its foundations. Their pain lingers in every groan of metal, every gust of wind that whistles through broken windows, and every shadow that refuses to fade when the sun rises. For those brave enough to visit, Sloss Furnaces offers a stark reminder that some scars never heal, and some spirits never find peace. Alaska, the Alaskan Hotel, a frozen legacy of tragedy nestled in the rugged frontier town of Juneau, Alaska. The Alaskan Hotel stands as both a testament to the state's storied past and a chilling repository of its darkest secrets. Built in 1913 during the height of the Klondike Gold Rush, this historic establishment served as a haven for prospectors, adventurers, and opportunists seeking fortune in the unforgiving wilderness. Yet beneath its weathered facade lies a legacy marred by betrayal, violence, and unexplained disappearances, a narrative that has earned it the title of Alaska's most haunted location. One of the hotel's most enduring legends revolves around Room 215, which is said to be cursed by the tragic fate of a young woman named Alice Johnson. In the winter of 1923, Alice arrived in Juneau with dreams of striking gold alongside her husband, a prospector named Thomas. Their marriage, however, was far from idyllic. Witnesses claim Thomas was abusive, his temper flaring unpredictably as the harsh Alaskan winters wore on. One frigid evening, after a particularly violent altercation, Alice vanished without a trace. Her disappearance sparked a frenzy of speculation, but no evidence of foul play was ever found, until renovations uncovered fragments of her jewelry hidden beneath the floorboards of Room 215 decades later. Today, guests staying in Room 215 report a host of unsettling phenomena attributed to Alice's restless spirit. Many describe waking up in the dead of night to the sound of muffled sobs emanating from the corner of the room, only to find it empty upon investigation. Others claim to see the faint outline of a woman dressed in early 20th century attire staring out the window, her silhouette illuminated by moonlight. The most disturbing accounts involve the sensation of icy fingers brushing against bare skin, accompanied by the unmistakable smell of freshly spilled blood, a grim reminder of the violence that cut Alice's life short. But Alice is not the only specter said to haunt the Alaskan Hotel. The building's basement, once used as storage for mining equipment, is rumored to be a hotspot for paranormal activity. Employees tasked with cleaning the area have reported hearing chains rattling and heavy footsteps echoing through the cavernous space, though no one else is present. Some describe seeing shadowy figures dragging invisible loads, their movements jerky and unnatural. One particularly harrowing incident involved a maintenance worker who swore he felt cold metal cuffs snap around his wrists, pulling him backward toward the darkness before releasing him abruptly. He quit on the spot, refusing to set foot in the basement again. Adding to the hotel's eerie reputation is the recurring appearance of a mysterious figure believed to be Thomas himself. Dressed in tattered miner's garb, he is often seen wandering the hallways late at night, muttering incoherently under his breath. Guests who attempt to approach him report that he vanishes into thin air, leaving behind an oppressive sense of dread. In one chilling account, a couple staying in the hotel swore they saw Thomas standing at the foot of their bed, his hollow eyes boring into theirs before disappearing without a sound. Paranormal investigators who have explored the Alaskan Hotel describe it as a veritable hotbed of supernatural activity. Thermal imaging cameras reveal significant temperature drops in key locations, including Room 215 and the basement. Electromagnetic field, EMF, meters register unusual spikes, particularly near antique furniture pieces believed to have belonged to the original owners. Perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from audio recordings, which captured disembodied voices uttering fragmented sentences like, "Help me," and "I'm sorry." Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Alaskan Hotel remains a popular destination for history enthusiasts and thrill seekers alike. Its rich tapestry of human drama, interwoven with tragedy and loss, creates an atmosphere unlike any other. For those brave enough to book a stay, the opportunity to encounter Alice's tormented spirit, or unravel the mysteries surrounding her disappearance, proves irresistible. Yet, as each new visitor crosses its threshold, they must decide whether they are ready to face the frozen echoes of Alaska's tumultuous past, and the restless spirits it left behind. Arizona, the Jerome Grand Hotel, perched above a ghost town high atop the rugged hills of Jerome, Arizona, looms the Jerome Grand Hotel. A towering edifice that commands attention not just for its breathtaking views but also for its sinister reputation as one of the most haunted places in the state. Originally constructed in 1926 as the United Verde Hospital, this imposing structure served as a sanctuary for miners injured in the perilous copper mines below. Over time, it evolved into a retirement home before finally transforming into the luxury hotel it is today. Yet, regardless of its purpose, the building has always seemed to harbor an aura of foreboding, drawing tales of tragedy and terror like moths to a flame. Jerome itself was once a booming mining town, earning the nickname, "the wickedest town in the West," due to its lawlessness and vice-ridden streets. At its peak, the population swelled to over 15,000 residents, all drawn by the promise of wealth buried deep beneath the earth. But the boom was short-lived. As the mines dried up, so did the town's fortunes, leaving behind a shell of its former self, a ghost town in every sense of the word. And yet, amid the desolation, the Jerome Grand Hotel stands as a sentinel, guarding secrets too dark to be forgotten. One of the hotel's most infamous residents is the spirit of a nurse named Elizabeth, who reportedly worked at the hospital during its early years. According to legend, Elizabeth fell victim to a tragic love affair with a doctor whose affections proved fleeting. Heartbroken and desperate, she took her own life by leaping from the fifth-floor balcony. Guests staying in rooms on the upper floors often recount seeing a woman in a white uniform gliding silently down the hallways, her face obscured by shadow. Others describe hearing soft sobbing emanating from empty rooms, followed by the sound of heels clicking against the tiled floors, only to discover no one there when they investigate. Another prominent figure in the hotel's haunted lore is Dr. Parker, a physician who practiced at the hospital until his untimely death in the 1940s. Staff members claim to see his spectral form roaming the lower levels, particularly near what was once the operating room. His presence is often accompanied by the faint scent of antiseptic and the distant clinking of surgical instruments. On several occasions, employees have reported finding medical tools rearranged or missing entirely, despite stringent inventory checks. One housekeeper even swore she felt an invisible hand guide hers as she cleaned a countertop, urging her to move objects she hadn't touched moments before. The basement of the Jerome Grand Hotel holds its own share of horrors. Used during its days as a hospital for storage and morgue services, the space is said to be haunted by the spirits of patients who succumbed to their injuries, or worse, experiments conducted in secret. Visitors exploring the area describe hearing anguished cries and the rhythmic thud of bodies being dragged across the floor. Cold spots materialize suddenly, sending shivers down spines even in the sweltering Arizona heat. Overnight stays at the Jerome Grand Hotel offer a unique blend of luxury and terror. Guests frequently wake to find themselves unable to move, pinned to their beds by an unseen force, a phenomenon commonly referred to as sleep paralysis. Others report seeing shadowy figures lurking at the foot of their beds, their glowing eyes fixed on the sleeping occupants. Lights flicker unpredictably, doors slam shut on their own, and the sensation of being watched pervades every corner of the building. Despite its haunted reputation, the Jerome Grand Hotel continues to draw curious travelers eager to experience its macabre charm. Owners embrace its spectral legacy, offering guided ghost tours that delve into the darker aspects of its history. For those bold enough to spend the night, the promise of encountering Elizabeth, Dr. Parker, or one of the countless other spirits said to roam its halls adds an element of excitement and trepidation. Yet, As each new guest steps across the threshold, they must ask themselves, are they prepared to face the darkness that lingers within these walls, or will they become another chapter in the hotel's tragic tale? Arkansas, the Crescent Hotel, a beacon of beauty and despair perched majestically atop West Mountain in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, the Crescent Hotel stands as a paradoxical blend of elegance and eeriness. Known affectionately as America's Most Haunted Hotel, this architectural marvel has welcomed guests since its opening in 1886, offering sweeping views of the Ozark Mountains and unparalleled luxury. However, beneath its Victorian grandeur lies a history steeped in misfortune, deception, and supernatural intrigue, a legacy that has cemented its place as one of Arkansas's most haunted locations. The Crescent's origins are rooted in ambition and innovation. Designed by architect Isaac Taylor, the hotel was intended to rival the finest resorts of the era, attracting wealthy patrons from across the country. Its opulent ballrooms, crystal chandeliers, and meticulously landscaped gardens quickly made it a social hub for high society. Yet, the hotel's fortunes would soon take a dramatic turn. Financial difficulties forced its closure in the early 20th century, leading to a series of ill-fated reincarnations. It briefly served as a girls' school, then a junior college, before falling into disrepair. It was during its tenure as a cancer treatment center in the 1930s that the Crescent gained its most infamous association with tragedy. Under the guise of Dr. Norman Baker, a charismatic yet fraudulent healer, the facility became a house of horrors. Patients seeking cures for terminal illnesses were subjected to quack treatments involving colored water, magnetic belts, and other pseudoscientific remedies. Many died under Baker's care, their bodies hastily buried in unmarked graves on the property. Though Baker was eventually arrested and imprisoned for fraud, his malevolent influence is said to linger, haunting the halls where so much suffering occurred. Among the Crescent's most persistent spirits is Theodora, a bride-to-be who tragically fell to her death from one of the hotel's balconies in the early 1900s. Her ghost is often seen wandering the fourth floor, clad in a flowing white gown, searching for her lost love. Guests recount hearing faint piano music drifting through the air, accompanied by the sound of heels clicking against marble floors. Some have even spotted her reflection in mirrors, only to turn and find the room empty. Her presence evokes a mix of sorrow and longing, a poignant reminder of dreams shattered too soon. Equally chilling is the legend of Michael, a stonemason who died during the hotel's construction. Said to have fallen from scaffolding while working on the roof, his spirit is believed to haunt the attic and uppermost floors. Maintenance workers report tools moving inexplicably, doors slamming shut, and the sensation of being watched by unseen eyes. One particularly unnerving account involves a housekeeper who swore she saw Michael's translucent figure standing at the top of a staircase, gesturing for her to follow him before vanishing into thin air. The Crescent's basement, once used as a makeshift morgue during Baker's reign, remains a focal point of paranormal activity. Investigators conducting overnight sessions have captured compelling evidence, including EVP recordings of disembodied voices pleading for help and thermal images revealing cold spots concentrated near the old examination rooms. Visitors exploring the area describe overwhelming feelings of dread, accompanied by the acrid smell of chemicals and the sound of lab equipment clattering in the distance. Modern-day guests staying at the Crescent frequently recount bizarre experiences that defy logical explanation. Lights flicker unpredictably, especially in hallways leading to the older sections of the building. Doors slam shut on their own, and the scent of cigar smoke wafts through the air despite the hotel's strict no-smoking policy. One guest described waking up to find his reflection in the mirror staring back at him, but not quite matching his movements, as if another entity stood behind him, mimicking his actions. Another recounted seeing a man in a dusty miner's outfit standing at the foot of her bed, his hollow eyes boring into hers before vanishing without a sound. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted allure, the Crescent Hotel remains a beloved landmark, attracting tourists eager to glimpse a piece of Arkansas history. For those brave enough to spend the night, the promise of encountering Theodora, Michael, or one of the countless other spirits said to roam its halls offers both terror and fascination. Whether you're drawn by the glamour of its Gilded Age past or the thrill of confronting the unknown, The Crescent provides an unforgettable experience where the line between past and present blurs, and the spirits of those who came before refuse to fade quietly into oblivion. California, the Winchester Mystery House, a labyrinth of fear in the heart of San Jose, California, stands a structure unlike any other, the Winchester Mystery House. This sprawling mansion, built by Sarah Winchester, heir to the Winchester Repeating Arms Company fortune, is a labyrinthine marvel of eccentric architecture and supernatural lore. Constructed continuously for 38 years until Sarah's death in 1922, the house boasts over 160 rooms, staircases leading to nowhere, doors that open into solid walls, and a maze of passages designed to confuse and trap malevolent spirits. Its bizarre layout and haunted reputation have earned it the distinction of being one of California's most enigmatic and terrifying places. Sarah Winchester's obsession with the supernatural stemmed from personal tragedy. After losing her husband and infant daughter, she became convinced that the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles were haunting her. A Boston medium allegedly advised her to move west and build a home for herself and the spirits, constantly adding onto it to appease them. Thus began her lifelong project, an ever-expanding mansion intended to baffle and imprison vengeful ghosts. While skeptics dismiss this narrative as folklore, the house itself tells a story of paranoia, grief, and an unyielding belief in the afterlife. Visitors to the Winchester Mystery House often describe feeling an oppressive weight as soon as they step inside. The air feels heavier, charged with an energy that defies explanation. Tours guide guests through narrow hallways lined with cryptic symbols carved into the woodwork and stained glass windows depicting spiders and web motifs, a nod to Sarah's rumored fascination with the occult. One of the most chilling features is the seance room, a small, dimly lit chamber where Sarah supposedly communicated with the dead. Guides recount how doors mysteriously lock themselves, and strange noises echo through the room, even when no one is present. The house's haunted reputation extends beyond its architectural oddities. Employees and visitors alike report encountering shadowy figures darting through corridors, hearing disembodied footsteps climbing non-existent stairs, and feeling icy drafts emanating from sealed-off sections of the mansion. Some claim to see the ghost of Sarah herself, a gaunt woman in black, wandering the halls with a lantern in hand. Others describe hearing faint whispers and giggles coming from empty rooms, as though children were playing hide-and-seek within the walls. One of the most infamous legends involves Room 444, a space accessible only via a hidden passageway. According to lore, this room served as Sarah's private sanctuary, where she performed rituals to ward off evil spirits. Paranormal investigators using EMF detectors and thermal cameras have recorded significant anomalies in the area, including sudden temperature drops and unexplained electromagnetic spikes. Footage captured during overnight investigations shows shadowy forms moving across the screen, prompting widespread speculation about the nature of the entities haunting the mansion. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Winchester Mystery House remains a magnet for thrill-seekers and history buffs alike. Its blend of architectural eccentricity and supernatural intrigue makes it one of California's most sought-after destinations for those willing to test their courage against the unknown. As we continue our exploration of haunted places across the United States, few sites rival the sheer magnitude of spectral energy contained within the twisting corridors of this haunted masterpiece. Colorado, the Stanley Hotel, echoes of literary terror tucked away in the picturesque town of Estes Park, Colorado. The Stanley Hotel stands as both a beacon of luxury and a bastion of horror. Opened in 1909 by Freeland Oscar Stanley, inventor of the Stanley Steamer automobile, the hotel quickly gained renown for its stunning views of the Rocky Mountains and its opulent accommodations. However, its true claim to fame came in 1974, when author Stephen King checked in and drew inspiration for his seminal novel The Shining. Today, the Stanley Hotel is celebrated not only as a historic landmark but also as one of Colorado's most haunted places, where fact and fiction intertwine to create an atmosphere thick with dread. King's stay at the Stanley coincided with a snowstorm that left him stranded, providing ample time to soak in the hotel's eerie ambience. He later recounted feeling an overwhelming sense of isolation and unease, qualities that would seep into the pages of The Shining. While the fictional Overlook Hotel bears little resemblance to the real-life Stanley in terms of layout, the essence of its haunting presence is unmistakable. Guests who visit today can almost feel the weight of Jack Torrance's madness lingering in the air, a testament to how deeply King's imagination tapped into the hotel's existing supernatural energy. One of the Stanley's most persistent spirits is said to be Lucy, a maid who worked at the hotel during its early years. Described as a diligent and kind-hearted woman, Lucy tragically died in a fall down the stairs while carrying linens. Her ghost is often seen on the 4th floor, dressed in a crisp white uniform, tidying up rooms and ensuring everything is in order. Housekeeping staff have reported finding freshly made beds and neatly arranged toiletries in rooms they had left untouched, attributing these acts to Lucy's watchful eye. Some guests even claim to hear her humming softly as she moves about, a comforting yet unsettling presence. Another prominent figure in the Stanley's haunted lore is Lord Dunraven, a British nobleman who originally owned the land where the hotel now stands. Dunraven envisioned building a private hunting retreat but faced fierce opposition from local settlers, leading to bitter disputes over ownership. His spirit is said to haunt the concert hall, where he allegedly hosts lavish parties attended by ghostly revelers. Employees cleaning the space late at night have reported hearing the strains of orchestral music and the sound of laughter echoing through the empty hall. On occasion, visitors attending events in the concert hall swear they've seen couples dancing gracefully across the floor, only to realize there was no music playing and no visible source of illumination casting their silhouettes. The basement of the Stanley, once used for storage and laundry services, is another focal point of paranormal activity. Stories abound of workers who vanished mysteriously while retrieving supplies, their bodies never found. Modern-day employees tasked with maintaining the area describe hearing chains rattling and heavy footsteps echoing through the cavernous space, though no one else is present. Some claim to see shadowy figures dragging invisible loads, their movements jerky and unnatural. A particularly chilling account comes from a maintenance worker who swore he felt cold metal cuffs snap around his wrists, pulling him backward toward the darkness before releasing him abruptly. Overnight stays at the Stanley frequently yield bizarre experiences that defy logical explanation. Lights flicker unpredictably, especially in hallways leading to the older sections of the building. Doors slam shut on their own, and the scent of cigar smoke wafts through the air despite the hotel's strict no-smoking policy. One guest described waking up to find his reflection in the mirror staring back at him, but not quite matching his movements, as if another entity stood behind him, mimicking his actions. Another recounted seeing a man in a dusty miner's outfit standing at the foot of her bed, his hollow eyes boring into hers before vanishing without a sound. Paranormal investigators who have explored the Stanley's walls describe it as a veritable hotbed of supernatural activity. Thermal imaging cameras reveal cold spots concentrated in specific areas, including the concert hall and the basement. Electromagnetic field, EMF, meters register unusual spikes, particularly near antique furniture pieces believed to have belonged to the original owners. Perhaps the most compelling evidence comes from audio recordings, which capture disembodied voices uttering fragmented sentences like, "Help me," and "I'm sorry." Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Stanley Hotel remains a popular destination for tourists eager to immerse themselves in its storied past. Its rich tapestry of human drama, interwoven with tragedy and loss, creates an atmosphere unlike any other. For those brave enough to book a stay, the opportunity to encounter Lucy, Lord Dunraven, or one of the countless other spirits said to roam its halls adds an element of excitement and trepidation. Yet, as each new guest crosses its threshold, they must decide whether they are ready to face the echoes of Colorado's tumultuous past, and the restless spirits it left behind. Dear reader, as we bring this journey through America's most haunted places to a close, I hope you've felt the same spine-tingling allure that has drawn countless souls to these spectral sanctuaries. These stories are more than just campfire tales or urban legends. They are fragments of history, stitched together by human emotion, tragedy, and the unrelenting passage of time. Each creaking floorboard, each whispered name, and each fleeting shadow serves as a reminder that the past is never truly gone. It lingers, waiting for someone brave enough to listen. But why stop here? If these accounts have stirred something within you, a spark of curiosity, a shiver of excitement, I urge you to take the next step. Visit one of these haunted places yourself. Walk the same halls where spirits are said to roam, sleep in the rooms where history's echoes reverberate, and let the unknown brush against your senses. Whether you're a skeptic seeking proof or a believer eager to commune with the other side, these sites offer an unparalleled opportunity to confront the mysteries that lie just beyond the veil. And when you return, share your story. Did you feel the icy touch of a ghostly hand? Hear the faint strains of music in an empty corridor? Or perhaps nothing happened at all, but isn't that silence just as intriguing? Your experiences add to the rich tapestry of lore surrounding these haunted places, ensuring their legacies endure for generations to come. Until then, keep your lanterns lit and your courage steady. The spirits are waiting.